It's on the Sabres.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll
The
add
whole
some
palm
2 cents.
trees thing. This is driving me like off the wall. This is driving me off the wall. I like first of all, Kevin Adams came out so defensive in that press conference, which I mean, I up until this press conference, I was a Kevin Adams rider. I was a Kevin Adams stan. Nobody could talk smack about Kevin Adams around me. And this this was something that I believe he messed up on, but why are we as a fan base like throwing it back into their face? I know they don't deserve any respect, but we're throwing it. We look like the biggest joke in the entire NHL, like maybe North American sports. We are bringing palm trees to the games, throwing them on the ice. Like it's just a joke. It's not funny. It's not like if I saw a guy with a palm tree, I'm like it's just not funny. And you look at like there's some Buffalo Sabres podcasts out there that are like, oh, rumor has it the front office is super upset. Like, keep bringing it. Like, this is like it. No, it's not funny. It's embarrassing. And another, like, they're not like, I'm sure Kevin Adams is like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. But like, the Sabres PR comes out, article with ESPN and says, we want to make the playoffs so we can have palm trees on our rally towels. Like, that's the kind of fuel that would be good. When we're losing in an 8 game losing streak and fans are bringing palm trees and the whole paper bag thing, you as a Leafs fan would know it back in like pre Austin Matthews era.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
paper bag, it's old, man. It's not even funny. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a joke. It makes the fan base look like a joke.
Yeah. No, I know. And honestly, man, I think we're having this whole conversation about culture and having this conversation about like overall perspective is like how an organization's ran, how fans operate, different things like that. I mean, Buffalo's going through it. Like, and it's tough because yeah, you just mentioned with Toronto, and this is where I mean Toronto's just a joke in a different way in terms of like the chokes. So everyone can call different teams a joke for so many different ways. But when you look at the Buffalo perspective, it's they can't even get to the playoffs right now. So it's completely like I don't even know if it's just a lack of hope or fans are kind of just like it's like that giving up like what's the point kind of thing. We're not going to be optimistic because it's been year after year after year of not even getting into the show. So I don't know. I guess your mindset right now, is it 1 or 2 moves or is it like management or is it personnel on the ice?
I don't want to like sound like I think a fan base. I think the fan base plays a huge role in this. You look at I will talk. I will make a answer. Give you a real answer. The fan base, we're terrible at home. We have been for a couple years now. There's no energy at home. I think the Sabres. People are going to call me a Terry Pagula shill. I think the Sabres have done a good job at their game experience and stuff, other than what's going on the ice. And there's, dude, I went to the Colorado Avalanche game.
Hmm.
We're up 4-0, nothing in the first period. You would think everybody's excited. We get a power play. I think we're up 3-0 at the time. We can't get it in the zone. We're up 3-0 on the Colorado Avalanche. What do you think we do? We boo the team. Up 3-0 in the first period against the Colorado Avalanche. So I think that like you have no home ice advantage. You look at like we work for the Bulldogs. We see it all the time. The Bulldogs games are the fans are into it and all this stuff. And I believe that gives them a true home ice advantage. There is no home ice advantage in Buffalo. What I think is wrong with the Sabres on the ice is, I mean, just complete. It's on the players. First of all, they preseason on paper they have not lived up to that at all. Especially when you look at Dylan Cousins and Jack Quinn. And I hate to put it on certain guys, and but also Darlene has been out for this losing streak. I think we can turn it around. I think they need like some sort of mental health coach, something like that. I don't know if they have that yet, but man, like these guys need some confidence, and the Sabres fans are just not giving them it at all. And yeah, that's crazy to say. Like they haven't earned it, but
No, you're right.
man, it's just a snowball, man. It's just
I
a
was gonna say,
snowball.
man, that that's why I kind of brought up the whole like history of where we're at with Buffalo is because honestly, man, I think so many fans are just past the point of like no return, where it's like they're loyal to the Sabres, they're loyal to the team, and they're going to be a fan for their lives, but they're to the point where it's like, why am I going to take this team seriously or back this team? But it's like that. I don't know. To be a true fan is like you're never gonna look away. Like you're never gonna stop watching as much as it is so
Oh
painful
man.
consistently, right? Like that's the epitome of being a fan. So I think for some fans, it's just like a toxic relationship basically for
Oh,
them.
it's so toxic right
It's
now.
they literally are attached. They can't get themselves out of it, but their way of responding is exactly that, right? So it's turning on the team with anything that goes somewhat negative, even when you're up 3-0. And on that point, man, it's so true with on the flip side for a team like the Bulldogs that we work for. I mean, I was as blown away and hyped as I've ever been when our team is down 4-1 against one of the best teams in the OHL in the Oshawa Generals, and our fans are still going crazy. Like one rush, one opportunity. Our fans are completely behind our team, down 4-1 in the third period.
It's
And
it's
and the
night and day.
and what happens? Bulldogs come back, win 5-4 in shootout. Again, it's not all the fans. The players are obviously playing on the ice, but you ask any player in terms of on like a morale aspect, it's night and
Huge home
day.
ice advantage.
Night and day.
You look at the Mississauga or Brampton Steelheads going to Brampton. They have no home, like they are one of the biggest underperforming teams in the entire league. They have no home ice advantage at all. There's nobody there. It's like I believe home ice advantage and being having a passionate, crazy fan base is so huge in sports. And when you don't have it, it's huge. Like Bulldogs fans are coming, like I'm cheering on the Bulldogs. I don't even care who's on the team. I'm cheering on the Bulldogs. Whereas Sabres fans are showing up right now, like, oh, I got my palm tree. I'm gonna make a joke of this franchise. I can't wait till they blow a power play. I'm gonna boo it. Like that's what it seriously feels like walking into that arena. Like
Yeah.
they're not like, oh, I wonder what Tage Thompson's gonna do today. They're gonna be like, oh, what's our power play gonna do today in a negative sense. Like home ice advantage is huge, man. It really, really is. And I'm not trying to scapegoat the Buffalo Sabres at all. I think they need to do a way better job at, especially asset management, which you touched on in the last podcast. But man, these fans are not helping at all.
Yeah. No, 100%. And on the Dylan Cousins conversation, in terms of like maybe getting a guy, like I think Jack Quinn, honestly, no shot against the guy, but specifically for this team, he's just not what they need. I've said that to you, and I've just said that maybe, and I think fans have had this conversation about even Peterka. Like I know a lot of fans wanted Peterka locked up long term, and you look at the Dylan Cousins situation, it's kind of like, is it better this way in terms of maybe you float around a Peterka or a Jack Quinn? I would maybe hang on Peterka. We've seen unreal flashes from the guy. Cousins for me, I mean, there's some guys that I would just relay in terms of like maybe more of a veteran presence, but plays at like an Elias Lindholm. I know he just signed long term in Boston, but that's just an example. Or like a Ryan Strome. I've suggested Ryan Strome as a Toronto target for their second or third line. A Ryan Strome, a veteran presence that could fill in the production that Cousins is putting up right now, but be uh, more established. Basically, be the same player, but years later. So I don't know if that's what Buffalo needs necessarily. I mean, you're right, man. This is a lot of a culture and just environment thing. And at the end of the day, like you lose a guy like Dahlin who is ripping it up, and then all of a sudden it just goes downhill from there. So I do think that there's probably a lot Buffalo can do in terms of again, you mentioned asset management. They have so many prospects, man. It's going to get to the point where it's like, when is the right time versus just doing it? Just
Mm-hmm.
literally getting aggressive. You made a move that was highly criticized in terms of the McLeod Savoy trade. And honestly, man, I think when we talk to Sabres fans today, McLeod is one of the more favored players on this team this season,
Yeah, 100%.
regardless of the trade, regardless how you feel of the value of the trade. So you know what? Maybe it's time for Buffalo to say, screw asset management a little bit. I know I'm going back on my words of what I said in the offseason, but I'm just saying that because if this is what it's going to be, you need to make more aggressive moves like the McLeod trade to basically do something here and basically give your fans a better on ice
100%.
product. Because I'll tell you this, fans cried, complained, and were outraged when the Buffalo Bills drafted Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm referencing this because sometimes the bold decisions end up being the best ones and fans won't like it. So all I'm saying for in terms of the organization versus the fans, the organizations needs to start making some moves here. They've got a lot of prospects in the pool, and it's probably time to start using them towards established players to fill out. And maybe that means you don't even have to trade Dylan Cousins because Riley, I'll tell you this 1,000%, Dylan Cousins will just be like Sam Reinhart, Ryan O'Reilly, and Jack Eichel in the sense that I think he will find success with another team, especially in terms of his age and what he brings.
He needs I totally agree. I think he needs a bit of a change of scenery in his own head, but totally agree with what you just said. Like the Bills fans were pissed when Josh Allen was taken. They wanted Josh Rosen and stuff, who's not even in the NFL. Like, so, yeah, quick thing before we end off. JJ Paterka, people were pissed that they didn't sign him. He gets off to a hot start. People were even more pissed, and he's had like a terrible last 10 games, and nobody's saying a word about, oh, why didn't we extend him? So let's stay a bit more even keeled. Let's stay a bit more. I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I'm with you, man. Buffalo Sabres fans. We'll see. We're going to make another. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Hit that subscribe button, like, notification bell, all that good stuff. Definitely comment your thoughts below, and going to be making more videos, more podcast appearances. So I hope you guys stay in touch. Reach out to me on social media and Hot Take Hockey everywhere. Talk soon. Peace.